This might be one of the best all-in-one monitors for your Mac. It's OLED, 165 Hz, built-in streaming, great for gaming, and it's great for Mac productivity. This is the all-new Samsung M9 Smart Monitor. It was announced back in January at CES, but it's finally officially available today, and it's positioned as a premium high-end do-it-all monitor. Think of a small but mighty 32-inch OLED 4K TV that's also fantastic for productivity, but it's also first and foremost a monitor for your desk setup. Now, if you're new to this lineup of smart monitors from Samsung, you'll quickly be sucked into the whole all-in-one experience, but those who have been following for a few years know that these monitors, though nothing particularly new, are absolute fantastic values depending on which one you decide to get. Now, there are cheaper M7 and M8 versions available, those were also just updated, but this is the premium 32-inch OLED model, so it comes with a higher price tag of $1599. So is it worth it? So honestly, it's really just going to depend here. If you already have a TV and gaming display for your setups, then it's probably worth getting a different, cheaper monitor, or maybe something first party like the Apple Studio display. But if you don't have a good solution for streaming, gaming, or working, then yeah, I think the M9 is a pretty compelling option. The design is sleek, modern, and pretty slim depending on the angle that you're looking at it from. It's kind of like all of the core components are in this little chunky part of the base where it connects to the monitor itself, but then the display panel itself remains pretty thin. I do like the overall look though. The stand itself gives me Studio and Pro Display XDR vibes, but that's really the only major similarity. The rest is pretty unique to Samsung. It's pretty height adjustable and it's tilt adjustable, which is great, and it can also get into a vertical orientation if you need it. Now, there are slim side bezels with chunkier top and bottom bezels. The top makes sense as it's home to a 4K webcam and built-in microphone, and I gotta say, the microphone on this monitor, when I reviewed the clip that I'm gonna show you here in a second, honestly kind of surprised me. It blew me away with how good it is. But I'm also a little bit unsure about the actual quality of the webcam. I mean, the video is fine, especially for what it's going to be used for, but I would love to hear from you in the comments down below, as I'm not completely sold on the video quality itself. This is the camera on the M9 monitor. It's a very wide field of view here. I don't know that I love how wide it is. I mean, it almost captures my entire empty studio. And so yeah, I'm not sure if I love this wide field of view. The camera looks pretty good, actually, but it's just kind of got this weird color profile. I'm not sure if that's just the monitor itself or how it looks when I export this video, but would love to know in the comments what you think of this camera. There are also speakers on this monitor, dual 10-watt stereo speakers to be specific, and they sound pretty good, though as usual I highly recommend supplementing your sound into something better, especially if you're going to be using it for streaming, gaming, and for your Mac. In terms of connectivity, you do have an HDMI 2.1 port, a display port, a USB-C with 90-watt power delivery, and 2 USB Type-A ports. The display itself is actually quite good. It's not as crisp or vibrant or, as good as a true OLED TV per se, but it's not totally far off. I mean, it still looks like a monitor more than a TV, if that makes sense, but a very good monitor with deep blacks and excellent contrast ratio. The refresh rate is up to that 165 Hz, and you do get 120 Hz support with your Mac, which is pretty cool. I've been using Apple external displays for so long that my brain is pretty hardwired into accepting 60 Hz, and so seeing 120 Hz on a Mac on an external display for the first time in a long time, if ever really for me, is kind of a cool thing, and I really hope Apple adopts this in its next lineup of displays. Obviously, if you end up using this as a gaming monitor, you'll get up to 165 Hz, which is great, but I mostly use this for streaming and for running my Mac. I loved using it as a daily driver, so to speak, with my Mac, but it's the ability to take breaks and boot up into Netflix, Prime Video, or even Apple TV Plus directly from either the remote control that comes in the box or the Tizen OS home screen or the home hub, and that's the real game changer here if you've never experienced it before. What else is new this year is Samsung's NQ8 Gen 3 AI processor, which is powering all of this, the whole suite. And it can offer AI Picture Optimizer, AI 4K upscaling, and active voice amplifier pro features for not only better clarity in video, but audio as well. This is an excellent addition, for sure. And Tizen OS does give you Samsung's TV Plus, the gaming hub with cloud gaming capabilities, and of course, all of the streaming apps. You can even connect to Microsoft apps with no PC required. If you're a SmartThings user, this monitor can act as a hub and control/view smart home products directly from the monitor itself. But more importantly, for fans of this channel especially, it is an AirPlay 2 compatible device, so you can easily cast from your Apple products. Last but not least, for those worried about the OLED's longevity, Samsung implemented its OLED Safeguard Plus, which includes screensaver, logo taskbar dimming, thermal modulation, and a patented dynamic cooling system which offers pulsating heat pipes, thermal algorithms, etc. to prevent burn-in, since this is something that Mac users might be worried about, or PC users, but this is a Mac channel, so I'm kind of targeting at them. But yeah, since our computers tend to display static content for long periods of time, I can understand why you might be concerned for burn-in, but Samsung offers this safeguard in place, which is great. Overall, it's an excellent all-in-one monitor, but the biggest cons are, number one, I didn't mention this earlier, but there is an anti-glare coating, and I kind of don't like Samsung's implementation here. Sure, it cuts down on reflections, which is great, but I feel like it takes away from the quality a little bit too much for my liking. I don't love anti-glare on larger displays. I said this with the 24-inch iMac, but I don't really mind it on the iPad or even the 14-inch MacBook, so I'm kind of torn. I'm not going to kill it too much, but that is something to keep in mind. Now, number two is a little bit petty, but man, if you need to make the monitor a little bit thicker in the back in order to cut down on the size of or even eliminate this gigantic power brick, please do so. This was such a pain to implement into my desk cable management, which was not great to begin with, but it was really hard to implement, so I cannot stand these gigantic power bricks, especially in 2025. Let's integrate that into the back of the monitor somehow. I know that we want to make things sleek and thin, but please, let's try to get rid of this if we can. And number three is the price. It's a little bit high, but I'm willing to be a little bit more lenient on this one because it does kind of act as a Swiss Army knife of displays for people who don't have a good TV, gaming, or Mac display. I still think the Studio Display from Apple is a better display overall for your Mac specifically, but it can also stream content too, but it's not as good as having the versatility of like a built-in smart TV, basically able to go directly into these apps and have the whole hub and everything, and then of course the 165 hertz, 120 if you're running it on a Mac, but if you decide to game, etc., it's just a little more versatile, and for the same price basically as an Apple Studio Display, I kind of have to recommend this if you don't have a good option for all of those. But yeah, I mean, there are cheaper options out there, so it's up to you and what you think you need for your desk setup, but I can't say that you'll be upset if you decide to pull the trigger on the M9 Smart Monitor from Samsung. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on everything? Are you planning on picking one up? Let us know down in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.